secret. She's coming out in all the news shows, and I said, Vicki, admit na. I don't like. Sige na, finally I got her to admit. So here she is with her testimony. Go. So you can see it looks natural because you can't come out on TV and look frozen. Vicki Webb, next slide. Okay. Will it play? No?
Just wanted to share, I've been doing Botox here at Belo for a couple of years, and you know, it's really not the frozen look. It's what I call it the refreshed look. And let me tell you, Allergan's awarded Belo as the #1 in Botox and fillers. So, you're in good hands.
So as you can see, she looks it's a refreshed look. So we will call Botox now, not the frozen look, but the refreshed look. And the Allergan is now, actually we've been #1 in Botox and fillers in the Philippines for 24 years. But they really gave us an award. Finally, they give because we ask, how are you doing? Compare. But I only say that not to make yabang, but to show you that we do so much of it. And whenever you go to anyone, as you all know, 10,000 hours makes you an expert, and we're like 100, 200,000 hours, because we've been doing it for so long. So I think when you do Botox, I've seen some really bad Botox, and it makes me cringe. So I think you should really always go to people who've done a lot, and fillers as well, because you want it to always look natural. At least that's what we do in Belo. If you want the more obvious look, some people like the big lips look, then you can go not to Belo, because we don't do that. Russian lips, or whatever, duck lips, we call them duck lips. So here, somebody older with acne, especially during the pandemic, got so many people with that mask. You have to remember when you wear a mask, normally if I'm talking, lumalabas yung mga bacteria, because the mouth is the dirtiest part of the body. But when you have your mask there, it just bounces back to your skin. And that's why you get a lot of acne. Next slide. Advocate again. So Donnie Pangilinan, the people know him here because he's the hottest guy in the Philippines right now. So he's a guy who just doesn't really do a lot of skincare, but he just, men are like that. I love men patients because they're not good with skincare, but they're very loyal and they come back when you tell them to. Not like girls. I don't know. They'll come to us and they'll go try someone else and they'll come back to us and go, may bago dun, try na naman. These guys are very loyal. They won't move because they're already happy and comfortable. And look at the pores, so beautiful. Next slide. So this is Raheel. Mr. M told me, Mr. Manahan, Johnny Manahan, said he's going to be the next big star, but his skin is so bad. So can you please help him? He says it's in the eyes. Okay, so he discovered Richard Gomez, Philip Pascual, Derek Ramsey. So let's see if he's right about Raheel. But here he is before, oily, pimply, large pores, and here he is after we treated him with Albalite. Next slide. Normal people, people always say, why don't you feature normal people? Okay, we'll feature normal. Then when I feature normal people, they won't like it. Who's that? Okay, fine. But anyway, here she is. She's our marketing girl, so I can put her on the screen. But I said, you cannot be in marketing and look like that. Okay, we have to fix you. So here she is before and after Albalite. Next slide. Wow. So not just Albalite, but Vivace and Virtue are also good for acne. For men, if they're super oily, we do both Albalite and Vivace or Virtue. Here's the before and after. You can see the face gets smaller, the pores get smaller, the oiliness is controlled. Next slide. And here's another one. Okay, next slide. And then of course the Zeo Skin Health, which I just want you to know, we have our Belo, I don't like, kulang ang products in Zeo, that's when I'll make something. But otherwise, I'll just leave it to them. Next slide. Facial enhancement. Okay, let's go a little more than skin deep. Next slide. Non-surgical, but still a little deeper. So now thread lifts are the in thing. So finally, after 6 years of doing thread lifts, Alex Gonzaga has admitted to doing thread lifts on her nose. So you can see that, her nose is wider. We just did thread lifts. It takes 30 minutes. higher now and it's more narrow. Next slide. Surgical. Of course, you can go non-surgical and surgical. So thread lifts are if you don't want any downtime, or you're not sure if you're ready for a nose lift. But once you're ready for a nose lift, then it's much better to just do a rhino so you can forget about it. Next slide. Rhinoplasty. So this is Brian Boy Kembao, for those who know him. He's a fashion influencer. And I think he looks, you know, he's very European now and blonde. But this is how he looked when he came, and this is how he looks now. Next slide. That's for men. Then for women, we really try to go for natural nose lifts. You have to tell us what kind of nose you want, because basically it's bespoke. But personally, I like it to be natural. So here's wider, aller trimming, and just a little rhino. Next slide. There. Very natural, right? Normally, people don't know. Next. Eye lifts. So eyelids can be because they're sagging and you can pull them, or also because you don't have, so you need like a more open lid. So I just did my eyelids, I did it for the third time. You kind of have to do it every 10 years. But it looks really nice, and then my eyes are open again because before it's like this already. Next slide. So somebody who doesn't have, who has a monolid, and you want, you know, it's much prettier to have a nice double lid. And it's so natural and no scars. If ever there are scars, they disappear, I promise, in like 4 months. Next slide. Here's Anthony Pangilinan, the dad of Donnie. He's a motivational speaker, but he said, I always look tired. Please do my eyes. So we did it. We took out his eye bags. But he didn't want his upper lids done yet, so now we can do that using cold rejuvenation, using amino acids that lift the eyes. Next slide. Okay, so my favorite procedure in the whole, this is what started I owe my life to fat. So when I trained in the States, I went to Harvard to study lasers, and there was a new way of doing liposuction, which is called the tumescent liposuction technique, invented by a derma. I studied that here with Dr. Klein, pretty close by. I don't know, where does he, Jolly? Anyway, it's like near Costa Mesa, so this is near, right? But I stayed there for about a year studying with him to remove fat. Next slide. The nice thing about it, this was minor surgery, local anesthesia with light sedation, and it was compared to the old lipo where you had to stay in the hospital. But anyway, let's go to the non-surgical first. So we have several ways to do this now. V-contour is the injection where you inject and the fat melts. On the cool waves is microwave energy to make the, shape the body if you're not too big. And M-Sculpt Neo, finally we have something that addresses muscle, because we were just talking about skin and then fat removal and then the muscles loose. So now we have M-Sculpt Neo, which works fantastically for the abdominal muscles. It's like doing 20,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes. And I used it for my butt. So I had no butt before, and now I have a butt. But my problem is all my jeans didn't fit anymore, so I had to change all my clothes. Good reason to shop. And look now, I'm really just all exposed in my butt. Okay, so M-Sculpt Neo is amazing on the butt. So you don't have to do that Brazilian butt lift because it's not so safe. And this one's muscles, not fat, right? So it really stays perky. Next slide. So V-contour, so this is Vice Ganda, if you recognize. So lots of chubby around the face. We did V-contour on his face, and now he calls it Hugis Bigas. So yeah, mukhang siyang bigas. Next slide. On the cool waves is for people who are not really big, but just, have problem areas. So here we have a before and after. Our model for this is Soleil Yousaf. She just gave birth, so she's doing it on the cool waves again. Next slide. There she is, looking great. Okay, M-Sculpt Neo. It works, so if you have even wrinkly skin, it helps tightens the muscles, melts some fat. So overall, it's really a good treatment for everything. Next slide. Surgical. So if you want one time, big time, let's get it over with. And I want my ideal body, because sometimes when you do the non-surgical, you do get smaller, but you can't really be sagad, or what do you call it when you really remove everything snatched? Okay, so lipo, we call it 360-degree lipo. So in Belo, we lipo 360 degrees, so you look good front, side, back, and side. Not like some doctors, because they use general anesthesia, which is not safe to begin with, really, for lipo, since it's a minor procedure. They only do the front, because you can't turn the patient around when they're in general. Also, because we use mostly tumescent and twilight, we stand you up at the end, and then we sculpt you so you look good. Because it's not good to just look good lying down. You need to look good when you're standing up. So we lipo you perfectly, as perfect as you can, lying down, and we stand you up. And I actually do the lipo while you're standing up so that I can, because the leg falls different and the fat falls different. Next slide. So here's our typical patient. This is 50% of our patients. People have had 3 kids. Every kid, they develop more fat, right? It always adds, God is a man, because he keeps giving you new fat for every new baby. Instead of, you already had fat before, it didn't go away, you could have just kept that. But and then when the placenta goes away, the fat stays. Diba? It should have been that because you need fat to comfort your baby, so it's comfortable in a cushion. But you don't want it to stay. So anyway, after giving birth, it's not going to go away with diet and exercise, very rarely, because it's hormone related. It's not because you ate too much and you're takaw, it's just because when you're pregnant, the hormones will do it to your body, deposit fat around here. Plus, Filipinos have a tendency here. Caucasians have a tendency here. So we always, no matter how thin a person, we still lipo here. So here's a before and after. So you get rid of all the bulges. Next slide. It's also a head start. A lot of people tell us this is Bianca Valerio. She's a very popular host and model, but she gained a lot of weight because of she was eating her emotions. She was stressed. So, in order to get back to work, they really say people who look good earn 20% more than people who don't. Then it get hard more. So here she is before and after. And of course, my model of all models is Jinky Pacquiao. Here she was after 5 kids. Yeah, this is Jinky before, and this is her now. So, it really is a life-changing procedure, and she's really kept it by herself. No more procedures after that. So anyway, so that's it. And that's it. You can ask me for other questions. I didn't want to make the talk too long. Next slide, please. So why should you trust only Belo Medical Group? Yes, why? Why? Because number one, we have the most experience. We've done this for 33 years. We have 14 clinics all over the Philippines. We know Asian skin. I can't tell you how many people have their noses done here or their eyes done here, and then they come back and I have to redo it. We have to redo it. Because Asian skin and Caucasian skin are miles apart. Caucasian skin doesn't scar. You can do whatever you want. It's very rare that you get any problems. Asian skin, get bitten by a mosquito, it's dark. You cut the eye, can you imagine if you had a scar showing? That's really bad. Or a rhino. Here in the States, they make the noses small. Right? They're usually big and they make them small. In the Philippines, we normally have big rounded noses. So sometimes it just doesn't quite translate, so it's better to have it there. We have skilled and expert doctors who've been with me. All my doctors have been with me. A lot of them, 20 years, 30 years. The new ones, we always train them for a very long time. We never just let them go out there. So we have a training program that's 6 to 9 months to do it the Belo way. That's just like McDonald's. There is a Belo way. Next slide. We're also world renowned, so we're not just known in the Philippines. We receive so many awards all over the world. In the Philippines, we basically received all the awards, but abroad, we also are well known. We keep giving talks abroad as experts on Asian skin. Recently, we just won an AMWC, which is in Monaco. That's the best energy device results. And that's wonderful because energy devices are lasers, radio frequency, microneedling, any ultrasound, in all that category, we want the best results. So I think we're very proud of that. Next slide. I also give a lot of talks abroad, so we're recognized as experts around the world. This is my latest talk last January in Paris. Next slide. So now I told you I need to video this so you can come out on my Instagram. Who will do it? Okay, but so in order to get your giveaways, you have to watch them. You have to say this line, okay? Only Belo touches my skin. Who touches yours? Okay, with feeding. If not, you don't get your giveaways, okay? Okay, so I'll start for this, so we can see if you're really doing it. I'll start from this table this way. Okay, guys, are you ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Only Belo touches my skin. Who touches yours?
Yeah, they don't get giveaways in that table because they weren't doing it. So wait, did I see you guys? I think you have to join them. They did well. Okay, this side, from this side onward, ready? A little louder. Can you do it better than them? Ready, set, go!
Only Belo touches
My skin. Who touches yours?
Very good. Woo! And on that note, thank you for being such a wonderful audience. I don't know if you want, I think you're hungry, so you want to eat. I can answer questions individually or together. What do you want? Miss Pet, anong gusto mo? Pakainin mo na sila, and then I'll just stop while you're eating. If somebody has a question, so everybody can learn, okay? Because I know I'm hungry too. Thank you. Yes.
I have a microphone here.
Pala. What do we do? Okay, so we are going to give gifts for people who listen well.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So this is my product. Okay, so collagen, I told you lose collagen for every year of life. You cannot eat collagen, by the way. You cannot buy, I think steak gives me collagen or stuff like that because it's too big of you cannot digest it, it's hard. So the best way to get collagen